I'm Brendan McCormack, and welcome to the Perth Fitfam podcast, where you get to hear from the best thought leaders and change makers from across the Perth fitness scene. In today's episode, we catch up with Instagram star Jem Wolfie. Whether you like her or not, Jem has built a global audience of over 2.5 million followers and is ranked by HypeAuditor to be in the top 20 fitness accounts in Australia and the top 50 in 5 other countries. For the first time ever, we get an unedited, unfiltered, uncut interview of what life and business is like behind the scenes with Perth's biggest Instagram influencer. If you love what we do, then you can become a supporter of Perth Fitfam by joining our fan subscriptions on Facebook and gain access to exclusive content, discounts on merch, and more. And make sure to give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher for your chance to win a Perth Fitfam shirt, which will be given away at the end of every show. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the podcast. Yep, that one's yours. I think that one's mine. Anyway, so yeah, no such thing as luck. So Jem Wolfie, thanks for being on. So
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. This is one podcast that I've wanted to do for ages. So to give people a bit of context to our conversation. So we first met probably 3 or even 4 years ago.
I feel like it was 4 years ago.
Yeah. I actually went through my Instagram not long ago
to
just to
work it out. To
post
of us in the gym?
Yeah, to the post in the gym, because I'm like, how long ago was it? Yeah, so it was like in between 3 or 4 years, and this is before things had blown up for you, but you had a vision of what you wanted to do. And the reason why I really wanted to do this is I think at the 2.5 mil or more followers that you've got at the moment, top 20 within the top 20, I think in 7 countries of fitness influencers.
Yes.
You probably don't know that. I know that.
Yeah, you've done your research.
Yeah, I have. I'll give you my secrets as to how I did my research.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's cool.
Yeah, but you've obviously reached something which in a way it's like incomprehensible, but you had a vision back there, and not many people get to see a side of you that's
true.
I've definitely seen.
Yes. I feel like people just see the Instagram page alone and sort of judge on that as to who they think I might be or things like that. But you can never judge someone or their story or whatever just based on Instagram alone.
Yeah, 100%. Now, how did you get kicked off? Not just with Instagram. So go back a little bit further. Tell us a little bit about you.
So I guess, so basically let's throw back to when I was 17 and I became an apprentice chef straight out of school, and I worked as a chef I qualified and worked as a chef in restaurants for about 4 years, and I hated it. Like I hated the hours, I hated how extremely physical it was and demanding on my joints, which weren't good at the time because I had had a knee reconstruction.
On your joints?
Yeah, my knees would swell up every shift, like really badly. So it wasn't the job for me. So and my bosses at the time knew that, and they were like, why don't you just start your own business, Jem? And I kept thinking, I don't think, like, I was quite young when they said that. I think I was like, well, I consider this young, like 21 or 22. And I was just like, I don't know if I can do that. That's a big responsibility. But I just got to a point where I kind of didn't have any choice anymore. Like I didn't have a job at the time. And I thought I'll just start my own Facebook page. And I wanted to create I still wanted to be a chef. So I wanted to create like healthy sweets and healthy treats. And I wanted to stock cafes all around Perth with my treats. So I just started a Facebook page, and I think I started an Instagram page at the same time for my sweets. And I did that for like 2-3 years, and I did, I guess, wholesale supplies to lots of different cafes and gyms around Perth. And then I was just doing healthy sweets, so you raw, vegan. You ordered something off me once.
I did, yeah. I think I actually...
Don't think it was vegan, though. I think I made it specially for you.
Yeah, I think it was when I did the vegan CrossFitter thing.
Yes.
And so I got vegan stuff, and you actually cooked me... I don't think it's cookie because it's raw, but yeah, it was an Oreo cookies and cream cheesecake, which was my reward after the vegan stint.
Yes, that's right. I remember. So that was when I was just doing all my sweets back then, and then I decided to get into savoury as well. So I created a business called Good Eats, where I did meal prep, healthy prepped meals, and delivered them to the public around Perth and businesses, and stocked those in gyms as well. And so I did that up until basically my personal Instagram sort of took over, and I turned my physical chefing business into all online. So I created healthy recipe books, and I partnered up with a personal trainer a few years ago and created workout guides as well. So that's when I sort of turned all my physical business into my online business, because I felt like at the time my social media was just picking up a lot of traction. So I thought I'd switch over to be on social media. But the reason why I think my social media was increasing, I just hit the mic.
That's okay.
I feel like the reason why at the time my social media page was increasing in followers was because I was creating a lot of workout videos, and I was doing a lot of like fitness-based content, and that at the time, I guess, gets a lot of interaction because people want to follow pages that like motivate them and inspire them. So I feel like at the time I was doing that as well as chefing, and then my personal page just took over.
Now, when you started, because we first caught up and you had around 3,000 followers, but you had a vision. Like, one thing that I always said to people, because people ask me about you when I say I actually know you, like I know you before that.
Yeah.
And one
They
thing,
go, is she a bitch?
Yeah, like
literally everyone tells me this.
They see you and they see the kind of content and they get a perception of who you are.
Yeah.
But one thing I say is, no, you don't understand. She's extremely smart. Like, you knew what you were doing back then. And
I just consider myself a businesswoman. I feel like like you said, I had a vision, and it was always at the end of the day to just absolutely maximize my passion and what I do to not only like financial gain, but also just to get a massive audience. So I always was trying to think of ways to maximize that. I don't know. I wouldn't go as far to say I'm really smart, but I'm very determined, and I know how to run a business. So
it was thought out.
Yeah,
like what you've done. It hasn't just happened. Like, it's been a vision. It's been thought out. Did you ever think that you'd reach 2 mil plus? Like, when you were thinking, what was success for you?
Like 1 million would have been overwhelming enough when I was at that stage at 3,000 followers, and I looked ahead and I was like, oh, 1 million followers, that'd be too overwhelming. That would just be too much. But no, when I hit 1 million, I was just like, oh yeah, 10 mils next.
Yeah.
That's how I think. And also I wanted to turn those followers into dollars as well, because it's only so great to have X amount of followers, but if you're not actually, getting revenue and actually maximizing your audience as much as you can for financial gain and into a business, then it's almost a waste.
Yeah, you can't sustain yourself, and that's the sort of stuff that I want to chat in a little bit. But when you're going through your growth stages, and obviously the Instagram and the algorithms and trends and how things work changes all the time.
Yeah.
But what sort of strategies did you use to grow? So, for instance, some people use a follow-on-follow, some people just buy followers, some people use engagement groups.
Yeah, so when I went through those growth stages, this was a long time ago, so things have definitely changed. But back then, I've never bought followers, and I've never done the follow-unfollow thing. I just never had time for that, because when I was going through that growth period, I was either chefing full-time still, or I had switched over to running my own business. So I was working full-time and really, really busy. So I don't have time to be sitting around thinking, how am I going to grow my page? It did happen organically and naturally, but it was a very slow process. But in saying that, I did always hashtag everything.
Okay.
So which will, if it does well, will end up on the explore page. And I think I tried to reach out to a few bigger pages at the time to help share me. So pages like Boss Birds and Fit Girl Empire, or I can't remember the names of them because I don't use them anymore. But I used to ask them, back then, to shout me out, and then just from there you'd get exposure, and that's how that happened. But I've never paid for followers or anything like that. But not that there's anything wrong with that, because I understand why people do that in the beginning. Is if you have 10,000 followers, people are going to see your page and then organically follow you because they're going to be like, oh, there's a reason why they have it. But you got to, your interactions have to equal out as well. You can't have 10K followers and have only like 20 likes and no comments or whatever.
Yeah, and I think even now from an advertiser's point of view, so I look at my page from a business point of view and I look at the health of it and I always try to improve it. Obviously, my market, when I look at it, it's purely Perth fitness people. If you're outside of that niche, like if I've got half my followers from US or Sydney even, it's pointless because I'm essentially providing advertising for brands. And so I delve into this, but I also delve into other people's pages too, and I work out the quality of their pages.
Do you do like consulting work for other people's pages? Or?
No, I don't. I actually should probably do workshops and stuff on how to do it. I take it for granted. Like once you know something, I assume everyone knows it, and it's not until you start discussing it.
And I've written. This is why I wrote a book. I wrote an ebook. It's not a published printed book, but it's an online book about how to grow your Instagram and how to grow your business on social media. Because I used to, and I still do, get questions like this all the time about how did you start, how did you grow it? Like every single day, someone will ask me that, and so I thought I'll just write a book so like. I can reach the world to answer these questions and help other people grow their business online or just simply grow their Instagram and grow their own personal brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still have that?
Yes, but it's not. It used to be at the link in my bio, and it's not anymore. But it's still available. But
I'm going to get the link from you, and I'll chuck it in the show notes. If people want it, then they can grab it from the show notes as well.
Easy.
And then briefly. So what's changed over the years? Do you still collaborate with pages and do shares? Like, how do you get growth at the moment because you're at such a high level?
Yes. So I WorldStar share me regularly, and I don't actually know the creators of that page, and I don't know who's sharing me and why they're sharing me. They obviously like my content, but I don't communicate with them. I'm just really grateful and appreciative that they like my content enough to repost, and every time they do, I get about 70,000 followers overnight.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that's how I am kind of growing at the moment, but I also sometimes do share for share stories only, not on my page. Share for share pages that are probably a little bit bigger than mine, like or my sort of follower count or a little bit more. So there's this one girl I do share for share with, Britannia, I think her name is, and she has like 13 million followers, right? But I do it with her because her interactions are at the same as mine.
Okay.
So that's why I do it. I won't do share for share with someone who doesn't have high interactions and high story views and all that. So
you're kind of cross-pollinating with similar accounts.
Yeah, as long as I know that their followers are going to be interested in the same thing, sort of same content as mine, then I'll definitely,
But it's still organic. The way that you're growing, you're not buying followers.
And I've never paid for a shout-out in my life.
Engagement groups?
No, I've actually never got involved with them. I've been asked to get involved with them, but I don't like to push it too much. It's almost like, okay, like, for example, I don't want to name names actually.
Especially if they're local. They're not local.
Okay. But just in case they watch this through a link or something that I share, they always DM me. Actually, they're not the only ones. I get a lot of pages DMing me, and they're bigger than me. They have like 5 million followers, and they always DM me, and some smaller pages too, saying, please like our recent, please comment on our recent, and like do all this, and just like almost forcing their interaction. And because like I'm a nice person, I'm going to do it. And they comment on mine too, but I never ask them. I just find it a little bit strange when people are constantly like, please comment on our recent, like if I wanted to, I would. Like I firmly believe in organic interaction, organic growth, everything. So even with the groups that you were mentioning, I feel like almost that in itself is a little bit forced. It's just like, oh, I'm going to comment on yours, so you comment on mine.
It's very, very fake. So I've had 2 experiences with engagement groups before I even knew what they were. You know when I was doing selfie stick photos?
Yes. Oh, my God, I miss those days.
Well, All right. So we got cut off
At what point?
We got cut off
I saw
at...
that was recording. I was looking at it.
It still was up until I said selfie stick, which is okay because then we just talked about my engagement group.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and so
we
that's
didn't
okay.
miss out too
We didn't
much.
lose much, and hopefully we can rip the audio from the camera. So my next question was, what does an average day look like for you?
Okay. So my day usually revolves around creating content, whether that be uploading videos, photos that I already had, or going out to a video shoot or a photo shoot, or taking photos myself on my own camera or on my own phone. So it usually revolves around that once a day. And then I spend at least 2 hours doing admin stuff. So that's replying to emails, messages, as well as doing my account stuff, which I have to stay on top of. Going to, different business meetings or meeting up with my finance team, who I have people helping me with my finances.
Tell us about that, like your finance team. Is that like just a financial advisor, or have you got a management team around you?
Kind of. I have a financial advisor, accountant, and I did have a management team, but I recently cut them off. They were not helpful at all. And I don't.
Is that
I
for
don't
local?
even mind. I don't know. They're over east, but I don't mind talking about that. But they just weren't getting me any work. So.
Okay.
And I thought at the time that I took them on, I thought I got to a point where I might need a bit of help managing my account, because it got to a point where I was getting, 100 emails a day, and I was getting so many inquiries that I had to organise brand deals myself and try to, discuss that with multiple brands on a regular basis. And I thought I needed a management or a personal manager. But turns out I don't. I can go back to doing it by myself, which I was much happier doing.
Do you think it's cool now having this influencer market and being able to create your own business and be your own PR team, your own content team?
Yeah.
Do you think that's an awesome opportunity for people out there to be able to create a lifestyle that you have?
Yes, but you have to be mentally ready for it. You have to be... this isn't for everyone.
Yep.
And being able to do it by yourself is not for everyone. As a matter of fact, I don't know anyone who has 2.5 million plus followers doing it by themselves. Yep. I know people that have like 100,000 followers and still have... I know people with 50,000 followers who have a management team.
Yeah.
Who I'm just like, how can you not be dealing with this by yourself? I was happy, and I'm still happy doing it by myself, but you have to be very... you just have to be aware of that people will try to, what's the word? Negotiate your rates down to next to nothing. You have to be strong-minded.
You mean that brands will try and negotiate your rates down?
Yeah, yes, and you just have to be really strong-minded and know your worth and know how to, speak with brands and get to the point and represent yourself well. And you just have to be really on top of everything. If it gets to a point where it's overwhelming and it's too much for yourself, then maybe you do need a manager or a management team or PR or whatever it is. As long as you make sure that they're good and they're going to get your work and they're really supportive of you, then that's fine. But I think it's great if you're able to do it by yourself, because then you can be in full control of everything. You take 100% of the profits. You don't have to split it with anyone. And I just am a bit of a control freak, and I really like to know what's going on. I want to have my own email conversations with people. I don't want someone else speaking on behalf of me. I want to know everything. So, I like to be responsible for things. So if I don't have someone else helping me, I can be 100% responsible. So
I think, and that just goes to show what I was saying is when people ask, you're smart, you know what you're doing.
I mean, yes, I do know I do know what I'm doing. Like I said before, I am a businesswoman, and that's how I want people to see me as, and just know that I'm not just an Instagram influencer, which I hate that term so bad.
Yeah, I'm trying not to use it too much, I think that people just... But
you almost have to in some regards when people are like, oh, what do you do? Because, I was a chef for so many years, and just say, oh, I'm a chef. And then it got to a point where it's like, okay, I'm not a chef anymore, even though I do sell my recipes online and I do sell, ebooks. But I guess I am, technically, if you have to label what I do, I am an influencer. But I like to also say an Instagrammer, because I'm not... Because I don't use YouTube. I don't use Facebook. I don't use any other platforms. I just use Instagram. So I'm a grandma.
Does it continue being on a solo platform if, like, let's say Facebook or Instagram or Zuckerberg decide to do something crazy like merge WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram together, which is what the talks are at the moment?
What would I... Wait, what was the question? What would I do?
Does it concern you?
Oh, does it concern me?
Just having one platform?
Like if Instagram disappeared, I'd be nothing.
What would you do?
No,
Actually,
no,
that's
no,
an interesting one. What, like, mentally, if Instagram went tomorrow and you had nothing...
Well, I have my OnlyFans, so let's just remember that. Let's just not forget that like 90% of my income now is from OnlyFans. So financially, I'd be okay as long as I could keep my OnlyFans account.
Yep.
Would it grow? No, because Instagram wouldn't be there, and Instagram is the revenue through that. So that streams, all my followers on OnlyFans stream through my Instagram. I don't think they can really find me many other places other than my Instagram page. So my OnlyFans wouldn't grow. I still feel like I've built a name for myself, and I've created a name for myself over the last 3 or 4 years. So I think that I still feel like I could, if let's say Instagram disappeared and there was a new social media platform, I'd still be able to grow and be big on that too, because people know who I am, or they will remember who I am, or if not, I'll be posting content on there that they'll still like to follow. So
I think the thing is as well, everyone would be if that were to happen, everyone would be in the same situation.
Yeah.
And people who do well adapt to change.
Yeah.
And
so like
you would just have to do it.
Yeah, if you didn't have Perth Fitfam on Instagram, you'd still have it on Facebook. Actually, your Facebook page is still lit. Yeah. But like, let's just say Facebook, Instagram, boom, gone, and you just had your website alone. Whatever other social media platform that arose after that, you would be able to push Perth Fitfam through that.
Yeah.
Like you would have to find other ways of pushing your page or your brand or your website or whatever it is that you're trying to push. Like you just gotta hustle. So if Instagram's not it, then something else will come.
Now, talking about OnlyFans and talking about the business side of Instagram.
Yeah.
So people that are building a following, and like we said, people say, how do you make money? So what are the revenue streams that you use to convert your profile into a business?
Okay, so there's actually a lot. I overcomplicated it. A lot of Instagram influencers will most likely just get paid by doing collaborations and sponsorships, ambassadorships with other brands, and that's just like their main source of income. So I do that too, but that's not all I do. I also have, as I mentioned before, written my ebooks and guides. So I sell those. That's how I did that initially. I started doing that as well as doing collaborations with other brands, and then I started my own merchandise range. So I was selling like clothing, like my own Wolfie range. So I was selling products. So you can sell other people's products and get paid from other brands. You can sell your own products. You can sell online books or online guides or ebooks, or you can also have an app, but I don't have that yet, but that is a potential in the works idea right now. So that's another way of revenue through Instagram, is create your own app. And then I think finally would be OnlyFans, which is once you've created a brand and you have enough quality content to offer to people, which is really what OnlyFans is do you think that your content is of value? Yes or no? If you do believe it is, then you should be on OnlyFans, and especially if you're like your own personal, if you're as in like representing yourself, people want to see more of you, then create an OnlyFans.
And then how do you separate your OnlyFans content compared to your normal content? Because obviously you already put out a lot of content. Yes. So what's the OnlyFans content?
It's just extra content. It's exclusive stuff. So basically no one else you can't see it on any other platform. It's slightly more revealing, but it's no nudity or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it is like, I've always felt that I would be putting out so much content on Instagram, and back when I used to use Snapchat, but I don't really use it anymore. So much content, like regular content all the time, and I just wasn't. And I'm just like, well, I'm not really getting anything back for it or from it. It's just doing it for fun. These were not sponsored, not paid for posts. And I was just like, how can I maximize this? Because this is taking me a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of my day to create this content for my fans, and they're always wanting more, and they're constantly like, you need to create a premium account, like we want to see more and more and more. And I was just like not posting as much on Instagram. Like I was posting like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Back when I was trying to grow my account. And then I started posting like 2 or 3 times a week. So it's just like I made an OnlyFans so I could just put extra content on there. So I was making sure I was posting a lot more often on there, and just for people who just want to see more of you, as well as like it's also pretty big in the fitness industry too, because a lot of personal trainers, fitness instructors are on there so that they could do a lot of like one-on-one stuff with clients as well, so they can put out like a full workout, or maybe they'll do like a full shoulder workout or a full like chest workout or something, and it'll be like basically like a YouTube account. Like you can do like a 20-minute video. Like you can't do 20-minute videos on Instagram, so do like a 20-minute video on there, and your fans or whoever's following you on there can pay a little bit extra to see it.
It's interesting because Facebook obviously caught on with that, because now they do fan subscriptions.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and so we've been trialing that. So we're in the beta program of it, and
Cool.
it's just providing extra content that you don't normally get.
You know the concept behind it. A lot of people don't understand it, but basically all it is a lot of people, I will say this, a lot of females especially will use OnlyFans to do like explicit stuff, but I'll be clear that, and I feel like I have been quite clear in that I don't do that.
Yeah.
But like I said, do show a little bit more revealing stuff. But basically, if you feel like your content is of value and your fans want to see more of it, they will pay for it.
Now, with the branded content stuff and the sponsorship posts, do you ever use things like Tribe, or do you use agencies? Or
No, I've always got them directly myself.
And do they generally come to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Almost every brand that I've worked with has come to me. I've reached out to a couple, and they're just like one-off ones. But brands that I had been with and are still currently with for like 6 months or more have come to me and wanted to do like a 6-month contract or a year contract with me.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I still like to get I still reach out to other brands and still want to get my own work. So, but a lot of them will be like one-offs, or they'll get like a bundle of 3 posts, or a bundle with stories and posts, and just do that. And I'm constantly still trying to get my own work, but a lot of people come to me as well. So.
And then how do they select your page? Because, and explaining Perth Fitfam before, so fitness businesses that want exposure specifically within Perth, where that's my platform, that's my followers, that's what I aim for. Yeah. Whereas you have an international exposure. Yeah. And so then how do they come to your page and say you're the product, or you're the page that is going to be able to get our brand in front of consumers?
So it has to be a brand that is an international brand itself. So let's say, for instance, I'm currently sponsored by Bang Energy. I don't know if you've heard of them.
The energy drinks? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a frother for Bang Energy drinks.
Oh, they're so good. Yeah. I don't even just froth them just because they pay me. Like,
they're actually
I genuinely drink them. They sent me like 16 cartons recently. I was like, whoa, how much would that cost in like shipping? But I've just been giving them to all my friends, and they're like, oh my God, this drink is amazing. And I'm like, I know.
I had one yesterday.
Oh, I should. Yes. Well, before you guys go, remind me, because I have a lot of Bang
I'm going to have an extra one today.
Yeah. So they ship internationally. So I feel like I'm great for their brand, because they're not specifically localized to Australia, which I was supposed to do. I was in the talks with doing a sponsorship with EHP Australia / New Zealand, which didn't happen because of my international following. Yeah. And so it has, a lot of brands that I work with. So this is another one. They ship internationally. So the fact that my following is international is great for them. Whereas like if it's a localized company specifically, so for instance, someone in this building works for the jerky company. Which I love. I eat their jerky all the time, but they asked me to do a few posts of them, a few paid sponsored posts, which I did. But they just found that because they're so localized, it wasn't as beneficial for them. Yeah. Because even though it's great exposure for their brand, which is a lot of the time what people are paying for from me rather than direct sales. Yeah. It wasn't as good for them. So a lot of brands come to me, and they just need to be keeping in mind that 70% of my followers are male, so they need to keep in mind of the gender thing. So it can't be too much like well, I've done beauty products before, but these beauty brands, my rates will be a little bit lower because they need to know that my gender count is 70% male, 30% female. So, non-gender specific brands are also great. So supplements and things like that aren't just targeting one specific gender.
Yep.
And then, also being international, being able to post internationally or whatever it is that they want from collaborating with me.
And so you'll adjust your rate based on the brand that you're working with too?
It depends, yeah.
Okay.
My rates vary a lot. People always think, oh, why wouldn't you just have like a standard flat rate?
Yeah.
No, because like, for instance, there's some brands that I really, really want to work with, and I'm so grateful that I do still work with them, and I think it's just such a privilege. So I keep my rates relatively low. They want them to be low as well.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they would throw a bigger number out there, but because I value them and working with them so highly, I'm happy to keep my rates relatively low with them. Whereas, for instance, Bang, they're a little higher. They are able to pay that amount. They are such a massive – their budget is huge. And if you've gone into their page and seen the other ambassadors and athletes and stuff that work with Bang, you'll see.
Yeah.
My rates definitely vary on, one, what the product is, what the service is that they're offering or what they're giving me. Is the product that they're giving me valued very highly? Like something I did recently was made out of solid gold, so I was going to value my rate a little lower because what their product is very expensive.
Yeah.
So my rates will be a little bit lower, but if it's something like Bang Energy or something like that, it's just a can of energy drink, so the rates will be higher.
Yeah. I find that very interesting about changing the rates. I more ask that for myself. And it's interesting that
Do your rates vary as well?
So I would generally have a flat rate, but my rates would be a lot different to you because we're local. We've got 21,000 local followers.
I wasn't even charging at 20,000.
Yeah.
But obviously it's different. I honestly think things are so different now.
They're so different. So our general rate is, like our industry rate is between $220 to $300 for a post. Whereas
that's so good for 20,000. You have no idea.
And
I was charging that when I had 200,000 followers. Yes, but remember this was years ago.
Yeah.
So years and years ago, companies weren't able to pay. People didn't have budgets for social media because they didn't believe in the power of social media back then.
What was influence marketing?
It wasn't. People weren't putting that much money into it. Whereas now people are putting money into so many accounts, especially smaller accounts like yours, because yours is specifically localized branding, and you can really target local companies that will definitely get direct sales from that. Whereas back in the day, it's like you said, much broader audience.
Yeah, that's right. I find it very interesting. So looking into these bigger accounts and some partnerships, $5,000 to $7,000, but when you the potential to do so, and then when someone looks at that and they say, how does that make sense? If you were to put an advertisement into a magazine, let's say
you got to think about it exactly.
Yeah,
or newspaper articles, billboards, and people look at advertising like that, we'll drop $50,000 on a freaking Perth City billboard that everyone's going to see. People just glance at that and don't even
There's no influence.
But if someone with a big name and a big brand who has high interactions with their followers put something out there and goes go buy this, that's going to be much more beneficial for the brand in regards to sales and exposure and all the things that they could want out of paying something for advertising.
Now, I noticed on your account that you're extremely responsive. So when we message, you usually get back to me straight away. And my first thing is, how did you even see that message came through? But also, you reply to almost every comment that goes out there.
Yes. And I try to go through my DMs, and my DMs be 70% group chats. So I pop into so many random group chats, just be hey, and people lose their shit.
Oh, really? That is so good.
Yeah, and just people what the hell, Jem responded, because there'll be a lot of other they'll just try and add in a bunch of random celebrities. Okay. And obviously no one else has replied, but then there's me, and I always just get heavily involved with my fans. I love my followers. I'm literally nothing without them. As much as I have a lot of self-confidence and believe in my brand. What is Jem Wolfie without my Wolfgang? Literally like nothing. So I just love to show love back to them and do as much as I can. Like I went to the Bendat Basketball Community Centre a few weeks ago with $1,000 worth of vouchers that I just bought from
Wicked.
Foot Locker just to give out to the kids because I know that a group of them down there are fans of mine. So I just like to show back love as much as I can. So yes, I like to respond on comment sections, but I also like to go out and physically like thank my followers. So when I go to America and the UK, I just organise my own meetups with my fans, like with no security, nothing.
Yep.
Just like go, I'm going to be at this place at this time, meet me here. I just want to meet all my fans. Like, probably a bit silly to do it without security. From now on I will be doing it with at least like some people that I know, but I just want to, wherever I go, I just want to meet, like I want to see a face to the username. Do you know what I mean?
That's cool. Yeah, make it a bit more personal. How many messages do you get a day? Can you count?
No. Should we go through my DMs now? I honestly don't know. Maybe in an hour I might get about 200 in an hour.
Whoa.
So times that by 24.
Sure, you're good at math.
50. Yeah, that's 50.
It's 4,800.
Oh, sorry.
200 in an hour, 24 hours
times
a day.
24.
That's 4,800, right? I think so. That's insane. And you try, like, do you know which ones to go through, like, as far as when they pop up? Because you get a lot of crap into your inbox as well, no doubt.
Yes. I don't really, I kind of do a lot of scrolling. Sometimes if I see, like, a verified account in my DMs, I'll be like, who's this? And just get interested. And then if I see business brands contacting me in my DMs, I'll tap on it. But I don't like it when people do that. They should always like email me.
Yeah.
Because it gets frustrating when I might miss out on a brand deal because they DM me instead of emailing me. Because there's, like I said, so much junk in there. But I try to respond to, I definitely respond to a handful of DMs every single day. But like to just fans who just want to say hi. But then I obviously have to go through and find like any serious inquiries as well into my DMs. So I miss a lot.
Yeah.
And like I said, I get 100 emails as well. Some of that's junk. Some of that's also fan mail.
Yeah.
But then I have to go through and find out what like the serious inquiries are as well.
The business side. I feel privileged that you get back to me so quick. So what are some of the issues, or what are some of the biggest issues or struggles that you have with the lifestyle that you have? Like running an account, just day-to-day stuff.
Yes. So I'd say like probably some of the negative comments that I get, like I don't really let them affect me anymore. I used to when I first started. Like when I first started, when I met you, I didn't really know how to deal with all the like negative comments and people saying nasty things to me. I don't know who they are. Why are they on my page? Like saying all these nasty things. But it's like today, like every day, like I wake up and because I don't like negativity on my account at all. So I try to wake up every morning and like just delete hateful comments. So I don't want like I still see them, but I just like will block them and make sure they don't. And just some of the stuff, like waking up every day and just being like called fat every day, just like can like take a little bit of a toll after a little while.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not, so I don't like let it actually affect me. But it gets a little bit draining and exhausting, taking on a lot of the negative comments. Like, when you post this on YouTube, watch the comment section. They'll still like you still get like hate coming onto like different channels. Like when I do interviews and stuff and do collaboration videos, like I'll just go through the comment section and they're usually all positive. But when I feature on it, just negativity just like comes towards me and it comes like flying at me from all different directions. But I'd say that can be one of the struggles.
Yeah.
Another thing would be recently, I guess I'd say like. Well, we've already touched base on this, but the management team and having like taking that leap to really put a percentage of my kind of like my brand and my business into someone else's hands and being like, here, help me with my business. It's becoming overwhelming, and then realizing that was a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't say
I guess you were probably expecting, because they would have been selling it as if they're a professional and they're experts
they really
in this
sold it
field.
to me, bro. They flew me to Melbourne.
Yeah.
And put on this massive like conference like
Like a presentation. Like
thing.
they pitched you.
Yeah, and made it seem like they'd like triple my income and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, I had high hopes, and I was just like really disappointed with how that ended up. But I dealt with it, and I'm just kind of learnt my lesson and just do it yourself. If you want something done properly, do it yourself, and that should be like a lesson for not just business but everything else in life.
Yeah, I know Shell and I have definitely gone through similar sort of stuff where you know, you bring on other people and they might be professional in their space and you're expecting big things, but you can get a much better result doing it yourself.
You should basically, one, if you want something done properly, just do it yourself. And two, don't expect anything from anyone. Just in general, just don't expect things from people, because then you won't be let down. And just don't have high expectations, because then you won't be disappointed. But I guess I did, just because it was just such a big leap for me to sort of take away a little bit of my responsibility, a little bit of have someone else represent me is huge, because I feel like I represented myself just fine. I just needed a little bit of help. But so I guess that side of things, and sort of the financial, it's become overwhelming in the last year, and I just need a lot of help and advisors around me to sort of help me and make sure that I'm doing everything correctly and doing all taxes and all that stuff, which I hate dealing with, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
And just sort of the business side of things and all that. And then what else is another struggle? Because there's quite a few, but I'm trying to think of some. Oh, maybe like the privacy thing.
Okay.
Like I've had a group of people somehow find out where I live here.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And they literally like hung out below my balcony and were screaming out, "Jem!"
You're kidding me.
And I literally like died. But they were just kids at the end of the day. It was harmless.
Yeah.
They, like I said, I love meeting my fans, but you definitely took it a step too far coming to my house.
Yeah.
At night time. And just like, there's not much privacy. I can't really go out without being recognised, even just out on the street, just to the shops and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually love that, because like I keep saying, I love meeting my fans more than anything. But when I'm with my family and stuff, or I just want to be low-key and don't be recognised and I'm having a bad day, it's hard to deal with. Like this one time I was at an airport and I was really, really sick. I was actually like violently ill.
Yeah.
I could not stop vomiting. I had very bad food poisoning or something. And this one guy, and I was crying also, because I was like leaving my mum, and I was just like in the worst state, like vomiting, crying. You could not have imagined a worse version of myself. And this kid came up to me, "Are you Jem? Can I get a photo?" And I was just like, this is the only time I've ever been like, "Not now, sorry." Like, also, can't you see? Like, I was literally a mess. Like, why would you want a photo with this right now? But
and then from his point, so this is the pressures of it, because he or she, this kid, expected something of you.
Yeah, had this idea in their mind of, and plus I'm always putting out on my story, like, if you ever see me out, please come and say hi. So I am encouraging that in a way, but I feel like there's definitely like a line that you just got to respect people's privacy and in certain situations, and just be like, I'm a human, you're a human, like you wouldn't want to be approached in some situations.
Do you think that you'll grow into that more, or do you ever look back and do you ever look at the situation now and say, some days I would prefer for no one to know who I am?
Yeah, definitely. Like there definitely are days when I don't have any self-confidence at all, even though I like to present to the world via my Instagram that I do have a lot of confidence. I have days when I just feel like disgusting, to be honest, and then I don't want to be noticed, because I don't want people to see me when I don't feel like I'm worth seeing, to be honest. And like at the end of the day, I am human, and I am, especially like females and males too, but like we have days where we just don't want anyone to see us, so I have those days too, for sure. But most of the time I'll still be very grateful when a fan, our follower, wants to come up and talk to me. I'll have chats with them and I'll ask them about what's their name and what do they do, and I want to know about their life too. I don't want them to just talk about me the whole time.
One thing on that, so we obviously know Josh Porter really, really well, and we were chatting about you the other day.
Yeah, he was here at the pool with his wife.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Well, we were chatting about you, I think, a couple of times since I went out to HQ there, and one thing that he said about you was, if he asks you about you you don't go into yourself like. I'm wording this wrong. You always ask him about him more so.
Yeah.
You're more interested in finding out about
I
him.
love that you and him as well noticed that about me.
Yeah.
Like I will, and it's in interviews. Like I did an interview in Melbourne with Do You Even, and he was asking me questions, and it was obviously an interview with me. But I was asking him questions about his life too, because I don't really like just to sit around and talk about myself, and
Yeah.
I'm also really interested in other people's stories. Like, at the end of the day, you're interested in my story, and this is why you're doing the interview, but I'm interested in your story too and your brand that you've built for yourself, and a brand that you should be very proud of, because
Thank
a lot
you.
of people knew about this podcast when I was telling them. They were, oh, yeah, I listened to the podcast, and they've, like, remembered things about you. So,
Wicked.
yeah. Yeah, and Josh too. Like, he's got an awesome story, so I just want to hear about other people that like to talk about myself.
And I think that's cool. But back onto you. So what's the biggest highlight? What's the biggest highlight, or what's the coolest thing that's ever come of having the profile?
One of the most memorable things that I've done, thanks to my Instagram and building a brand for myself, I guess, I took part in a celebrity basketball game that Shaq O'Neal hosted in LA, which was so much fun. I was absolutely in my element, like loving life. And that came from, I guess, like building that sort of basketball chick vibe that I have going on from my page, and I can't wait to do another one of them. So that's why I hope to go back to America this year and do something similar. Also, I guess I did a collaboration video with Woody and Kleiny from London.
We spoke about this one before,
Yes.
and I'm going to make sure that I post this video in the links as well.
Yeah, you should.
It's really cool.
Thanks. It took us like 6 hours to film. People need to know how much effort and time goes into making trip videos like that, especially. Because it's like, I don't know if you've seen Dude Perfect and those kind of videos. They would most likely spend hours getting that trick shot, and we did. We spent hours, but it was so much fun hanging out with them, and they were very inspiring guys to be around and very motivating. And maybe another thing, recently I did an interview for the New York Times, which I thought was a pretty big milestone to be like published and an article about you in the New York Times.
Yeah, because New York's your biggest market as well, isn't it?
Yes, New York is my biggest city.
Yeah, followed by Perth.
LA, Perth, and then sometimes in countries Australia isn't. Even though Perth is in the top cities, Australia isn't sometimes. Sometimes it's Mexico.
Yeah.
And UK and America, but Perth is still, because Perth is where it obviously all began, and that was a big chunk of my following to begin with. So
sorry, I just took you into the weeds a little bit there. So
right.
the so New York Times, that's mass scale.
Yeah, huge exposure there, and it was about my success on social media and on OnlyFans as well specifically. So it was really cool to do an interview with them. But I would say those things were highlights, and then also something massive for me would be having the financial independence with doing what I do, being able to, I'm currently building a house.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. I haven't actually told anyone that. So
that's cool. It's a Perth Fitfam exclusive.
Exclusive. Just bought a block of land and building, so that I've been able to do that, thankfully, because of my social media, and very grateful for that. So I'd say that would be a highlight as well.
That's so cool. Now, what if for someone who's looking to follow in your footsteps?
Yes.
What's your advice?
So you have to hustle. To begin with, if you want to grow your brand, if you want to get to 20,000 followers from having a regular account that people have at about 1,000, which, by the way, back in my day, a regular account would be 200 followers, but now it's the norm is now 1,000, right?
Yeah, once you hit 1,000,
1,000 is but now if you want to go from 1,000 to 20K, you have to be posting every day, if not sometimes twice a day. Hashtag everything. Be doing what I used to do and ask bigger accounts to shout you out, because a lot of pages now, see, back in the day they wouldn't ask for you to pay, but now they would ask you to pay. People paid me to shout them out on my story. Yeah. So try and find a page that won't always ask for money in exchange for shout outs, because some people, some pages revolve around just sharing other people's content. Like, for example, WorldStar.
Yes.
They base their page around sharing other people's content. Boss Birds rely on other content creators to build their following and get interactions. So they need people's content. So some pages don't ask for money. So just get your content out there. You can't just be building alone. Like, other people need to people need to see your content via other pages. If that makes sense.
That's a really, really good point.
Yeah.
I think, and to clarify that with Perth Fitfam and how we operate, because obviously we're a resharing platform.
Yeah.
Although now we have a hybrid of our own content as well.
Yeah.
So usually, because I'm trying to build engagement and followers, and I want good content. So when I look at content, the content I want to share is local Perth people doing cool stuff and good content, whether it's a great photo, something inspiring.
I saw something cool, like a chick doing a handstand or something in a backyard, and
the kids were
I just thought that was cool. I thought it was like, I really like that video, but like things like that people can relate to and think like, so I think like also having a variety of content is really really important. So don't just always post. Like, do you ever see those pages and they've got like, I don't know, 100,000 followers or whatever, and it's just like all professional, like model photos?
Yes.
It's always taken on like a really nice camera. It's always posed. It's always just highly edited. You need to be posting a lot of personal content too. Like, have a variation. Do a few selfies. Do a few photos taken on your phone. Then have a few videos in there as well. Like, videos go viral, photos don't really. So videos. I tell everyone.
Yeah, we get better response with videos.
Videos always go far. And then also, what was I going to say? Yeah, I guess have a few professional photos on there that look like nicely taken and edited and stuff. But yeah, people want to be able to relate to you, so keep it personal as well. Don't always, have something that people can interact with and talk to you about, and even like put questions in the captions and ask people.
Build interaction.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got to build up engagement. All right, my final question is, what's one thing that our audience would know about you? Besides your name's Jemima.
Oh my God, how did you know that?
You told me.
Oh, shit. My name isn't Jem Wolfie. Well, everyone calls me Jem no matter what. Like, my full name is Jemima.
What's one interesting thing?
I'm trying to think.
That people would know about you.
I got suspended from school like 3 times.
Did you? I was too.
I was so naughty at school. Maybe your followers don't know that. I used to be really naughty. Like, I just used to be the most horrible child like ever. Like, and I just hated school, so I'd do whatever I could to get out of school, which, if that meant like cutting a girl's ponytail.
You cut a girl's ponytail off. No, that's really funny.
I was literally like in grade 3. Like, I swear I didn't know what I was doing. I was just being naughty. And then, like, if you think about that now, it's like the most horrible thing ever. But like,
it's pretty funny. I
was just so naughty. I was a little shit.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm a changed person.
Do you look back now and go, oh man, what was I doing?
I was thinking, I just think that like I'm going to get karma. Like, when I have kids, my kids are probably going to be little shits and I'll have to deal with that and be like, this is what you were like for your parents. So
payback.
I was just naughty.
I love it. So you were naughty. Actually, sorry, I did have one last question. What's the end goal?
Basically, I want to be like a household name. I want to be like, people have heard of me and people can relate me to a successful business rather than just Instagram thought. I just want people to be able to take me seriously as a businesswoman, as well as an athlete and an ambassador, what else? And obviously just to not have to not to stress about money, and set myself up for the future and set myself up for the family that I don't have yet, and just not have to worry, and be able to travel a lot more for work and meet a lot of amazing people around the world, and collaborate with as many other content creators as I can, and just stay humble.
I love it. You've done awesome, Jem. Thank you so much for being on. That is so cool. Thank you for having me. No, I appreciate it. That was awesome. Catch up. Yeah, you too. Awesome. We are done. Awesome. Thank you, Jem Wolfie. That's it for this episode, and we hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, then make sure to give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher for your chance to win a Perth Fitfam t-shirt, which we'll be giving away at the end of every show. And just remember that if you love what we do, then you can become a supporter of Perth Fitfam by joining our fan subscriptions on Facebook, and you'll gain access to exclusive content, discounts on merch, and more. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more of the Perth fitness scene to come.